Hello and welcome to this Linux cast video for Intro to the Terminal. Now if you watched the first video, I'm back here in my VirtualBox machine. I've got it full screen now, and I've changed the background to make it a little easier on your eyes, so hopefully it is. Today we're talking about Intro to the Terminal. So what is the terminal? The terminal is on Windows what you call command prompt. It's basically a text access to your computer. It makes it much faster to move around, make files, delete files, so on and so forth. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our dash button, click on that, go ahead and type in term, and it'll come up. Mine was up there already. And I've made my text a lot larger to make it easier to see in the video. And the first command you're going to learn is who am I? And then press enter. And it'll come back, and there you see my username, Josh. So that was an easy one. Let's get into some more advanced stuff here. So with the terminal, you can see all your files and folders as they exist. So if you type ls, that's short for list, it's going to list all the files and folders that are your files and folders. There you can see my downloads folder and documents, pictures, music, the whole shooting gallery. Well, what if I want to list one individually? I can type ls and then desktop, and note that the D on desktop is capital. That's important. And it doesn't come back with anything because I don't have anything on my desktop. So I'm going to create a file real quick. Empty document. I'm going to call it test.txt. Save it there, and then I'm going to run my command again. And there we go. We can see my test.txt file. Now, we can do more than just list it from here. We're going to edit it too. So now that you've got a test file, go ahead and type in nano. Nano is a text editor for the terminal. It's pretty basic. And we're going to do nano. Oops. Let's go back. Let's close it. Sorry, guys. No. So we're going to do nano desktop / test.txt. There we go. And if you look at the top here, it says the file is on the desktop, and it's the text.txt. And I'm going to type in here hello world. Once again, not being able to type, period. And then I'm going to press Control O. That's to write out, and then just press enter. And go and press Control X. Now I accidentally called it text, not test. That was my fault. But if I open text, there we go, hello world. So, albeit a small typo, there I actually created and wrote to one. So I'm going to do the same thing now, but I'm going to write test this time. And I'm going to do hello world, period. And then I'm going to write out, and then I'm going to open test. And there we see hello world. Now I just opened it in a different text editor, a more visual one, but we can get to that function later. And once again, just Control X to get out of there. Now let's go over to the pictures. So I'm going to do an ls pictures. And I don't have any pictures right now. That's okay. We can download one or create one or modify it from here. Anything you want to list, all you have to do is type in ls. Now, ls just shows you in there, but we've always been in my directory, showing all my files and all my folders. Well, what if we want to look at other people's files and folders or system files and folders? That's where we can change directory or cd. So for this one, we're going to cd to .. And that's going to take us to the root directory of the whole system. Actually, correction, that just took us up one. So we're going to do cd / That's going to take us to root. So cd / takes you to root. Cd .. / takes you up one directory. So now I'm in the root, and we can see all my root files here. So we have the home directory. That's where my username is. That's where Josh comes from. If I ls home, you'll see Josh again. There it is. And if we ls etc, oops, we can see all of our installed programs that are running. Really haven't installed much, but there's a lot running in here. And then I can always do clear to make the screen clean again. So what I'm going to have do here is I'm going to cd back to home, I'm going to ls, and then cd to Josh, ls, and I'm right back where I started. But this time, I'm going to go to home, and I'm going to do a cd to home / Josh, and I've done it in one less step that time. So you can go anywhere you want for any reason at any time. Now the terminal is good for more than just navigating files, changing things, deleting files. You can do all that kind of stuff. For example, we'll cd to my desktop this time, ls, and I'm going to remove a file. Now for removing, you just do rm, that's for remove, text.txt, because that was our mess up. We wanted to have test, right? And bam, it's gone. It's that simple. Now, other things you can do here is you can update your system if you want. Now, if you're on Ubuntu, which you should be if you're watching the video, you can update your system by doing sudo. Now, sudo is a command that you're going to use a lot. Sudo gives you administrative access, which you don't normally have by yourself. So you're going to do sudo apt-get. Apt-get is your program for getting updates and installing new programs. And we're going to do update. And it's going to ask us for a password. Because we did sudo, it wants to know what our password is. It says, hey, what authority do you have to be an administrator? So I'm going to enter my regular login password. It's going to say, all right, and it's going to go get all this lines of code. And basically what it's doing is these are a bunch of web addresses, and it's looking for new updates in these web addresses for the system. And it's come back with a few. Now on my keyboard, if I press the up arrow, it's going to bring the last command up. If I do it again, it's going to bring the one before that. So if I go down, same effect. So instead of this time doing update, I'm going to do an upgrade. And it's going to go find it. Now it just pulled that update that we did and go, hey, there's some things to update. Do you want to continue? And I type in yes. And now it's going to update my system for me. And what we'll actually do, since that's going to take a minute, is we're going to go over to our virtual desktops. We're going to go down to another desktop. We're going to open another terminal, and we'll continue here. We'll come back to the updates in a second. So just a quick recap, we've covered ls, which will list all the files and folders that you're looking at. cd, which will change the directory you're in. ls again, there's our test. We've covered the fact that you can create files, text files, using nano. We'll call this test2.txt. We'll save that with Control-O, and then exit it with Control-X. We covered the fact that cd / will take you to the root of the whole system, and cd home / your username, in my case Josh, will take you back to where you started. And also clear will clear it out. Now when you clear, you can still scroll up to see what was there before, but it gives you a nice clean screen to work with. And as soon as our updates are done, and I'm hoping they're done now, looks like they're not, we're actually going to install an application instead of installing an update. Now I'm switching between the two screens using Control-Alt and then my up and down keys. You don't have to use the desktop switcher, but it's a nice way to see what's currently open. Looks like we're just finishing up here. And in the meantime, we created that test 2. So we'll go back here, and we also covered the rm command. So let's see here, we need to rm for remove, desktop / test2.txt. And you can see it's gone from the desktop. Now another way you can remove a file or rename it or do what you need to do is you don't have to type in the whole thing. If you know that you only have one test on your entire desktop, you can do test and star, and basically what the star means is find anything that has test in it and remove it. So we'll do that, and the other one's gone. We'll clear again. So far we have ls, cd, rm, and apt get install. And once again, all this information is going to be at the bottom of the page if you still need a little help or a little refresher. So we're going to take a look, and it doesn't look like it's done yet. We're going to try to install an app anyway. So we're going to do the same thing before, sudo apt get. Now remember, sudo is the command that allows you to run as an admin. And we're going to install a simple program. We're going to install an MP3 player for the terminal. It's called MP3 Blaster. I'm going to type in my password. It's going to install it real quick. Bam. Alright, so we've installed an application called MP3 Blaster, and I said it was a music player. What does that mean? So with any application, you can just type in, like here, MP3 Blaster, press enter, and there we go. We're now running a program. And it kind of looks like a very basic media player. I don't have any music on my virtual machine yet, but now you've installed an application and you've run it. Now just like Nano, I can press Control X and I can stop that application. See if we can get it to stop. Or in this case, Control C. So Control C, close MP3 Blaster. Now you can open more than just terminal-based programs with the terminal. Last time we talked about Firefox, the web browser, so I'm going to type in Firefox. And it just got an update, and there we go. We've opened Firefox with the terminal. Now on the left-hand side here, I'm going to click on my terminal again. And you can see that it didn't go back to the return because Firefox is still running. So we're going to do Control C. It brought us back to the terminal and closed Firefox. So that's a real basic intro to your terminal. We're going to do some more videos on the terminal, but this is just to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. Go ahead and play around with your commands, create a few files with Nano, and enjoy.